Hey, that trailer was hot. The one thing Marvel knows how to do is show a freaking teaser trailer. What's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood nerd, Brock, coming at you with my review of 2008, The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk was released in June of 2008. This was the second movie in the MCU phase. This is the Edward Norton one. A lot of people don't really talk about this one a whole lot. It's kind of one of the more underrated, like kind of black sheep, I call it, in movies of the MCU, only because Mark Ruffalo was not the Hulk. That his face is literally Bruce Banner the Hulk. I think everyone's become very accustomed to him seeing it. But I literally just got done watching this movie an hour ago, and I have to say, this one still holds up pretty good, and I think, honestly, it's underrated. Plot of this movie is pretty simple. It shows kind of the origins of the Hulk, a gamma ray experiment gone wrong in the opening credits. Bruce Banner's on the run. He's in South America, and General Thunderbolt Ross, played by William Hurt, who is the only character to come back in a later movie, Captain America Civil War, and other movies since then, which is pretty cool. But he's hunting down the Hulk, Bruce Banner. He is property of the government. He hurt his daughter, Betty Ross, played by Liv Tyler in this one, and he's on the go. Bruce Banner, he's working at a factory. Something goes wrong with his blood once it gets cut, ends up in a pop, and it ends up in America overseas, with a great cameo by Stan Lee. And they're like, okay, we've got Bruce Banner, and they've got this guy, Emil Blonsky, a really trained like mercenary soldier who goes after him. And it's really Bruce Banner being on the run. He ends up back in America, meeting up with Betty to try and find their work to... Basically, he doesn't want this thing. He wants an antidote to cure and kill the Hulk inside of him. And some things go good, some things go bad. Eventually, he's on the run all the time. He's got a couple good spats with the military.
Now she'll see.
Feel this tortured soul and everything like that, but you still feel like in this movie he's a scientist. You believe a lot of the stuff he's talking about, but I kind of like the on-the-go kind of feel it has. It almost kind of has like a Bourne feel to it a little bit, if you guys are familiar with that series. Just kind of like this one hunted figure that this whole agency of government is after, but it's more so with the Hulk. The Hulk is pretty freaking savage in this part. The best portrayals of Hulk, honestly, I think, are in this one, and probably the first Avengers, where you honestly still felt like he was a monster, even in Ultron, but they kind of a little bit more comedy with him a little bit in future movies. Obviously, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but kind of some of the recent interpretations of the character I haven't been the biggest fan of. With time, I want to see Hulk smash. I know there's no character development in that, but you definitely can, I think, develop more of that. They hinted at it a little bit in Avengers Infinity War, but he's a savage here. He's got a couple, like, the opening scene where they're in the factory trying to hunt him down, like, he's in the shadows. You don't see him till the end, and like it's really built up like he is this monster. He hulks out again on the university when they're trying to fight him there. He's got a great scene where he takes down all the military vehicles. He smashes out of the glass. He kicks Emil Blonsky. But they really nailed it here, especially some of the action. Like, it's like, that's what you want to see. You want to see Hulk smashing. You want to see him getting more mad, getting more angry, and just taking care of business, smashing vehicles. It's sweet. It's dope. And the villain is pretty good in this movie as well, Abomination, who shows up towards the end, but he kind of takes the serum a little bit more and more as the movie gets on to be able to take on Hulk, and Blonsky just ends up, becoming the Abomination, one of the Hulk's most physical foes, which is really cool. And that battle in Harlem is sweet. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played the Hulk video games growing up. I loved Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and like seeing Hulk take apart a cop car, and make it into boxing gloves was dope. That's why I think I like going back and rewatching this movie, because some of the action, that's what you want to see. You want to see Hulk duking it out, smashing it down, just going nuts with someone who's even stronger. It's just really cool. It's a lot of fun watching some of these action scenes. And I do like the romance a little bit with him and Betty Ross. I do buy it. They tried to do romance with Hulk later down the line with Black Widow. I don't think it necessarily just worked the best, but you buy it. You kind of buy he's this tortured soul. Like when he turns into the Hulk, he ends up in the middle of nowhere and has like these nightmares. Like there's a scene in the shower too where he's showering and ends up like being, he sees like the shower head and it's like a minigun. Like he has not learned to control the Hulk yet, and it's something that like you generally feel for the guy. Like he's not happy with who he is. He doesn't want this thing inside of him. He wants to get rid of it. He wants to have a normal life, but that just doesn't happen. There's a greater calling. There's a greater like purpose that he has. He starts to hint at it. The main thing with this movie is I want to go back and watch it and see. I think the internet has shrewd my perspective a little bit as far as maybe why it's not a good movie. And actually, it really is. I just don't think a lot of people rewatch it with their MCU movies because, again, Mark Ruffalo doesn't play Bruce Banner. The Hulk does. Edward Norton. But I do wish Marvel would kind of go back to this Hulk a little bit. I like the jokey Hulk and things like that, but let's see a Hulk that's like some of the greatest storylines in the comics is when Bruce Banner is just so tortured it messes with his whole life. I mean, this movie, after he beats Abomination, he leaves Betty. He realizes he can't have a normal life, and he positions himself in isolation. But it's really cool. You start to see that he starts to control the Hulk a little bit. Like it says, days without incidents, 31, and then like he's just like, and then he controls it. Like this whole movie, he's I think what's cool with his arc is he tried to deny it. It's the beginning of this arc. He tries to deny the Hulk. He tries to act like he doesn't want the Hulk, and at the end he's like, I'm going to control
Hulk! Smash!
Incredible Hulk. If you haven't gone back and rewatched it in a while, I definitely would. If Marvel's looking to make another solo Hulk movie, I think they should go back in the past and measure this up a little bit. It's good pacing. Some of the like tortured soul stuff I could probably go without. I probably could have also wanted to see a little bit more Bruce Banner being sciencey and smart. I think the Avengers movies have nailed that with Mark Ruffalo for sure, but Edward Norton just didn't get a chance to sign. This movie didn't make a whole lot of money. The MCU was still kind of getting its footing and whatnot, and eventually, we all know, he didn't come back because he was wanting a little bit too much money, a little bit too much creative control, and for better or for worse, we got Mark Ruffalo. I think he's a great Bruce Banner and Hulk, and especially in like Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron and Thor Ragnarok, and then don't spoil. I'll get to those movies later, but the portrayal of Hulk. But this is a great movie. I had a lot of fun watching the action. I think the Hulk, we need to go back to this Hulk for sure. I mean, you guys could probably disagree with me on that, but I want to see this Hulk smash. And I hope they bring back Thunderbolt Ross. He does a great job, and there was even rumors for a while that Abomination is still a villain. So I hope they bring it back. So just a quick little review. I enjoyed this movie. It's a lot of fun. Great action. Great villain. Great Hulk. And just a little bit sometimes slow with the pacing. Sometimes I wanted to see a little bit more Bruce Banner being a scientist. But overall, it's a great MCU movie. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's definitely one I'm excited about watching later down the line, but it's definitely underrated. So with that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Excited to go on to my next MCU movie, which you guys will see a preview right after this. So with courtesy, this has been your friendly neighborhood nerd. I've enjoyed chatting with you guys. See ya.